Right, good evening. So, I've decided to add an FTX Vantage to my RC collection. I've bought this because I'm going to go indoor buggy, 1/10 scale buggy racing. Two-wheel drive buggy racing. This is obviously four-wheel drive. And I could have bought a entry level two-wheel drive racing buggy, but then double the price of this. And me being a bit of a cheapskate, I thought I'll buy this, make it rear-wheel drive, try and do some racing. If it's a disaster, it's a disaster. If it goes well, it goes well. If I enjoy it, I can then maybe buy a racing buggy in the future. So bought this, 116 quid. First impressions, I like it a lot. I think it's alright bargain. I've had FTX RC cars before. I've got the FTX Outlaw, which is the same front end, different chassis, but it's a lot of interchangeable parts. So I know that the FTX stuff, it's decent quality. It's not gonna last forever. If you're an idiot, it will break and smash. But it's good for a bit of fun, and it's cheap and stuff. Spare parts are cheap and all that. So yeah, I like it. First impressions, it's just nice quality for the good value for money. Everything's as it should. Hex hardware, yeah, all good. I really like the fact that it's got covers over the spur gear, which I never knew it did. In all the pictures I thought they were open gears, but they're actually covered. I mean, there is tiny gaps, but they are enclosed, which is great. So I'm thinking about another one of these for off-road bashing, now that I know that it's enclosed. So I'm chuffed with that. I've put a LiPo, 2S LiPo on it, and it's fast enough. Around garage, you know, it's not bad. It's not mega. Two little concerns: the transmission's very noisy. So I don't know if it's the mesh is good on the spur gear. I've checked that. So the rear diff or the front diff, something's a bit noisy. But I'm going to investigate that when I make it rear-wheel drive. So I'm not too concerned. And the other thing was, it had a loose wheel nut, which something to note, but the wheel would have fallen off if I didn't notice it. So yeah, right, so that's that. What's the plan? So I'm going to go racing, indoor racing, hopefully in 2 weeks' time. Try and get some footage, but I'm not going to be walking around with camera in my hand. Not doing that. But what have I got to make it half decent on a track? Well, my interpretation of making it half decent on a track. Steering lock. There is not enough steering lock on these racing buggies. Way more than that. So when I'm going to take out the front diff, I'm going to take out the drive shaft. There's no centre diff, which is good, because if there was a centre diff, making it rear-wheel drive would be almost impossible. And I'm going to sacrifice this diff cover, and I'm going to cut off this back end of the front diff cover, which means that this linkage can rotate further underneath this cover here, giving it more lock. Then it's going to rub on the shocks. I can bring the shocks in one hole, soften up the springs, and then eventually what I'll rub is from the FTX Outlaw, this chunk of plastic here. Maybe not on this, but that can rub on the lower suspension arm. So, more steering lock. Obviously make it rear-wheel drive. I just said how I'm going to do that. A faster servo. This servo isn't too bad, but I've gone and bought an EcoBoost, which is meant. I hope this is fast. I think it's fast. It says 0.09 seconds at 6 volts. So I'm hoping that's nice and fast. The downside is, I didn't know this. I should have measured it. the servo is longer, let's say, than this servo, so it's not going to fit. I'm going to have to either bodge the chassis or customise some mounts and bring the servo this way. So that's a little bit annoying, but I'll make it work. What else am I doing? Anti-roll bars. I'm going to put them on, see what it does, then I can always take them back off. I've got a Dumbo RC receiver with a gyro. I've got obviously the controller, adjustable gyro on your controller as you drive, so I can tweak it in as I'm lapping. And then I need tyres, control tyres. I need to buy Schumacher honeycomb tyres, front and rear, because they're racing on polished wood floor with no carpet and jumps, so it's very slippy. I used to do RC racing 20 years ago on polished wood floor, and it was like ice. So, 6 minute talk. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to set the camera up on the tripod, and I'm going to just pull it apart, and then I'll do some more talking. So let's do this. There we go. So you've just seen a bit of a time lapse of me having a bit of a blast on the garage floor. It's pretty much done. It's ready for its first race night this week today. It's a bit dusty from blasting around the garage and had it outside once. I've put one battery through it. But these are the new wheels and tyres. Schumacher honeycomb, they're called. I've gone for the narrow fronts because it's two-wheel drive. Even though I could have fit the four-wheel drive fronts, but anyway, looks alright. I like it, a lot of blue wheel nuts. I think it looks good with the white and the blue. Softened up the suspension, got it nice and low, anti-roll bars front and rear. The front suspension is a bit stiff, but that might be good. I don't know what handles well, what doesn't handle well. Yeah, it's looking good. I'm very happy. We've got the generic 2S LiPo. We've got the EcoBoost servo, which is really nice and fast. Standard motor still. I've put in a 26 tooth pinion up from 23, just to get a little bit more top speed. It seems to be happy. Still pulls away very well. It's not too big, doesn't get too hot. I can always put the 23 back in if it's not happy or doesn't seem to be working very well. The steering, I've done lots of tweaking and changing and sort of cutting away material, and so I've tried to get as much steering lock as I can, which isn't, I think it's good enough. Oh, it's better than what it was. I'd like a bit more, but I think we'll have to just give it a go, see what it's like on race night. What else have I done? I think that's it. Spur gear. Oh, I took the rear diff out. I've just put some standard generic grease in there, so it's a proper open diff now. There's no gaskets in the diff, so it's a bit tricky to put proper diff oil in there. So it's a a proper open diff. We'll see how it handles. I could go back in and put in some thicker grease, but that's for tuning after you've figured it out what's going on. That is it. That is it. I've got nothing else really to tell you. Steering, fast servo, gyro's on there. Let's turn it on and show you. Oh. Hey! I must admit, the Dunbar C receiver is very sensitive, and the servo is very sensitive, but I'm not going to complain. It's like half the price of the branded stuff, so it's good for me on a tight budget. Servo is... Oh, so let's just turn... We'll turn the gyro down here. There we go. Nice good servo. Plenty of lock. And we'll just turn up 3/4. That's gyro. A third. It's very sensitive, but it's good. I took it out. I've put one battery through it, really, technically, and I've dropped all my tyres. So this is what I've done to the rear tyres in one battery, which, to be fair, these are not for tarmac, but they're very grippy. And this thing with fast servo, with a gyro, 2-wheel drive on tarmac, it were great fun, really good fun. And just blasting it around in the ear is actually quite good fun. Drifting it around and trying to keep it in control. So yeah, I'm really liking it. This is going to be the indoor racer, all being well, if it works out. And then I'd go for 115 quid, buy another one. Modify that for outdoor bashing. I mean, they're not... Yeah, really happy with it. It is going to break eventually because it's a budget, not a basher, but fun factor. Very good fun. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to babble on anymore. So next video will hopefully be a bit of racing. Right, catch you later. I just thought, let's show you wheel speeder. I'll just pick this up. We'll get me trusty tub of grease. We'll put that on there. We'll turn the gyro off because it's annoying me. And the battery is probably 50%. Not bad. Not bad. It'll do. It'll do. Right. Let us.